The ship was quiet at night. Most of the crew was sleeping. Only a few workers stayed awake to watch the screens and keep everything running. Park sat alone in the communications room. She was a lieutenant in the Earth Fleet, but here on the GSV Harmony, she was just another crew member. The ship belonged to the Galactic Concord, a group of alien species who had invited Earth to join them 60 years ago. Was 28 years old. She had dark hair tied back in a simple knot. Her uniform was neat and clean. She looked like any other officer, but the aliens on this ship did not treat her like any other officer. They were afraid of her. Had seen it many times. When she walked into a room, the other species would move away. When she ate in the dining hall, they would find tables far from hers. When she spoke, they would flinch at the sound of her voice. To them, she was a monster, a creature from a death world. Earth was classified as a Class 12 death world. This meant it was one of the most dangerous planets in the known galaxy. The gravity was too strong. The weather was too wild. The animals were too deadly. The diseases were too many. No intelligent life should have evolved there. But humans did. And that scared everyone. Did not mind being alone. She had grown used to it. She did her work and kept to herself. Tonight, her work was simple. She was monitoring the communication channels, listening for any signals in the empty space around them. Then she heard it. At first, she thought it was just noise, static from a distant star, but something about it felt wrong. It had a pattern, a rhythm. She adjusted her equipment and listened more carefully. The static became clearer. It was not random, it was a signal, a message. His heart beat faster. She ran the signal through the ship's translation system. The computer took a long time to process it. When the words finally appeared on her screen, she stopped breathing. The message was in Korean. Not modern Korean, ancient Korean, a language that had not been spoken for thousands of years. The words were simple but terrible. They took us, they are coming back, do not let them find Earth. Read the message 3 times. Her hands were shaking. She checked the signal's origin. It came from deep space, from a direction where no human ship had ever traveled. And it was old, very old. The computer estimated the signal had been traveling for over 4,000 years. 4,000 years ago, someone had taken humans from Earth. Someone had kidnapped her ancestors and sent them into the stars, and those ancestors had sent this warning. They are coming back. Stood up so fast that her chair fell over. She ran to the captain's quarters and knocked on the door. The captain was a tall, thin alien with blue skin and large black eyes. He opened the door and looked at her with clear annoyance. "Lieutenant Park, it is the middle of the night cycle. Sir, you need to see this." She showed him the message. The captain's black eyes grew wider. For once, he did not look at her with fear. He looked at the screen with something else, something like pity. "This must go to Earth Command immediately," he said. The message reached Earth 6 hours later. It went directly to Admiral Lee. The Admiral was 62 years old. He had gray hair and a face full of old scars. He had fought in the First Contact Wars, when humans first met the galaxy and the galaxy tried to push them back. He had seen things that would break most people. He had done things that still kept him awake at night. When he read the message, he felt something cold settle in his chest. He knew what this meant. Some alien species had been watching humanity for thousands of years, studying them, planning something, and if they were coming back, they had a reason. The Admiral called an emergency meeting. The room filled with generals and scientists and government leaders. They all read the message. They all argued about what to do. Some wanted to hide. Some wanted to negotiate. Some said the message might be fake. Admiral Lee listened to them all. Then he stood up and the room went silent. "I have studied every species in the Galactic Concord," he said. "They are all afraid of something. They whisper about harvesters, collectors. a species that finds young civilizations and studies them like insects, and when those civilizations become too strong. He did not finish the sentence. He did not need to. The conquered will not help us, he continued. They are too scared. They will hide and hope the storm passes them by, but we are not like them. We are humans. We come from a death world, and we do not hide. He looked around the room. Wake the... On the GSV Harmony received new orders. She was to return to Earth immediately. When she walked to the shuttle bay, the alien crew members watched her go. For the first time, they did not look at her with fear. They looked at her with something like hope. One of them, a small creature with gray fur, spoke to her as she passed. "You are going to fight them," it said, "the ones who harvest worlds." "Yes," said. The creature shook its head. "You cannot win. They are too old, too powerful." Stopped, she turned and looked at the small alien. She smiled, and in that smile was something ancient. Something that had kept her species alive through ice ages and plagues and wars without end. "We are humans," she said. "We do not need to win. We just need to survive long enough to make them regret finding us." She walked into the shuttle and did not look back. The war was coming, and Earth was ready. The call went out across human space. It did not go to politicians or diplomats. It went to soldiers, to survivors, to the ones who remembered what Earth really was. Received her message on a volcanic moon at the edge of known space. She was a marine biologist now, studying strange creatures that lived in boiling water, but she had not always been a scientist. 5 years ago, she had been special forces, one of the best. Then an alien diplomat had threatened her team during a mission, had broken his arm in 3 places. The military had called it an incident. They had discharged her quietly and told her to disappear. She had disappeared, but she had not forgotten how to fight. When she read the message, she smiled. It was not a nice smile. She packed her bags and left the same day. Shin was harder to find. According to military records, he was dead. He had died 3 years ago in a classified operation that officially never happened. But dead men do not fly cargo ships. Ran a small hauler on the outer colonies. He moved supplies between mining stations and farming worlds. He was quiet and polite. He never caused trouble. The people who hired him thought he was just another pilot trying to make a living. They did not know about the weapons hidden in his ship. They did not know about the kills on his record. They did not know that he was the most dangerous man in 3 star systems. When the message found him, he read it once. Then he changed course and headed for Earth. Bay was different from the others. She was only 17 years old. She should not have been part of this, but was not like other teenagers. She was a prodigy. At age 12, she had shown an unusual gift. She could connect her mind directly to computer systems. Neural synchronization, the scientists called it. Most adults could barely handle it, made it look easy. By 15, she was synchronizing with military-grade combat systems. By 16, she could control an entire warship with her thoughts. The military had wanted to use her as a weapon. Her parents had refused. They had hidden her away on a quiet colony, hoping she could live a normal life. But did not want a normal life. She had been born for something more. When the call came, she did not tell her parents. She left a note on her pillow and stole a shuttle in the middle of the night. She was scared, but she was also excited. Finally, she would find out what she was capable of. All of them traveled to the same place. A hidden military station called, named after the sacred mountain in Old Korea. The station was deep in an asteroid field, invisible to anyone who did not know exactly where to look. Admiral Lee was waiting for them. The meeting room was small and plain. No windows, no decorations, just a table and chairs and a large screen on the wall. Arrived first, then, when walked in, the others looked at her with surprise. "She is a child," said. She is the best neural pilot in human history, Admiral Lee replied. She stays. Lifted her chin and said nothing. She was used to people underestimating her. Admiral Lee turned on the screen. It showed a star map with hundreds of red dots scattered across it. This is what we know, he said. The species that sent the ancient message calls themselves the. They have been watching the galaxy for over 1,000,000 years. They find young civilizations on dangerous worlds. They study them. They collect samples. And when those civilizations become too advanced, too dangerous. He pressed a button. The red dots disappeared one by one. They erased them. The room was silent. 47 civilizations, the Admiral continued. 47 species that might have been our allies, all gone, wiped out before they could become a threat. They are patient. They wait until the perfect moment. Then they strike. And now it is our turn, said quietly. Yes, they have been watching Earth since ancient times. They took samples of our people 4,000 years ago. They have been waiting to see what we would become. What do they think we have become? Asked. Admiral Lee smiled grimly. A threat. Leaned back in her chair. What about the Galactic Concord? They have more ships than we do, more technology. Why will they not help us? Because they are afraid. They have never lost a war. Their technology is so far beyond everyone else that fighting them seems pointless. The Conquered thinks that if they stay quiet and cooperate, they will leave them alone. Will they? Asked. For now, the only harvest Deathworld species. The Conquered members come from safe worlds, gentle worlds. They evolved without natural predators. They do not understand what we are. Made a sound that might have been a laugh. They think we are monsters. They are not wrong, Admiral Lee said. We are monsters. We evolved on a planet that tried to kill us every single day. We fought ice ages. We survived plagues. We hunted creatures 10 times our size. We killed each other in wars that lasted generations. And through it all, we kept going. We kept fighting. We refused to die. He looked at each of them in turn. That is what makes us different. That is what they are afraid of. And that is why we are going to win. Shook her head. We cannot beat a species that has been conquering worlds for 1,000,000 years. We do not need to beat them. We need to hurt them. We need to make this war so painful, so expensive, so terrible that they decide we are not worth the trouble. We need to show them that humans are not like the other species they have harvested. He turned off the screen. We are going to hit them first, fast and hard, before they expect it, before they are ready. Stood up, her face was calm but her eyes were burning. Tell us what to do. Admiral Lee nodded. There is an observation post in the asteroid belt near Colony 7. They have been watching our people for decades. We are going to destroy it. And after that, asked. After that we keep fighting. We find every outpost, every scout ship, every spy satellite. We burn them all. We show the galaxy that death do not go quietly. Raised her hand like she was in school. Everyone looked at her. I have a question, she said. When we win, can I keep one of their ships? For a moment no one spoke, then laughed. It was a real laugh, warm and surprised. I like this kid, she said. Admiral Lee almost smiled. Let us focus on winning first. The rest we will figure out later. The meeting ended. The soldiers went to prepare. The war was about to begin. The asteroid belt was dark and cold. Millions of rocks floated in the empty space, hiding secrets that had been kept for centuries. Guided her ship through the field with careful hands. Behind her sat, and 4 other soldiers. They wore black armor and carried weapons that most species in the galaxy had never seen. Was not with them. She was back on station, connected to their communication systems. Her voice came through their earpieces like a ghost. I see the target, she said, 1 kilometer ahead, hidden behind the big rock shaped like a potato. Looked out the window. They all look like potatoes. The really big potato, trust me. adjusted their course. As they moved around the asteroid, the station came into view. It was beautiful in a cold way. Silver metal shaped like a flower with long petals reaching out into space. Lights glowed softly along its surface. It looked peaceful, almost friendly. But knew what it really was, a watching post, a place where aliens had studied her people like insects for decades. They had recorded everything, births and deaths, wars and peace, the growth of human colonies across the stars. They had been waiting for the right moment to strike. No weapons detected, reported. Minimal security. They do not think anyone knows they are here. They are about to learn, said quietly. The ship landed on the station's outer hull. The soldiers moved quickly and silently, cut through the metal wall with a plasma torch. In 30 seconds, they were inside. The station was different from human buildings. The walls were smooth and white. The lights were soft and even. The air smelled like flowers and clean water. Everything was designed to be calm and peaceful. The first they saw did not notice them at first. It was tall, almost 3 meters high, with silver skin that seemed to glow. Its eyes were large and black, like pools of dark water. It wore flowing robes of pale blue and held a small device in its long fingers. When it turned and saw the humans, it froze. Raised her weapon, "Do not move." The stared at her. Its face did not show fear, only confusion. It had never seen anything like this before. "You are humans," it said. Its voice was soft and musical. "From the death world called Earth." "That is right." "Why are you here? This station is hidden, protected. How did you find us?" "We found your message," said. "The one your people sent 4,000 years ago, the one that warned us about you." For the first time, something changed in this face. Its large eyes grew wider. "That is impossible. That signal was encrypted. No primitive species could." "We are not primitive," said. She stepped forward and the stepped back. "We figured out your codes, we found your station, and now we are going to shut it down." An alarm began to sound. Lights flashed red along the walls. Doors opened and more appeared, these ones carrying weapons. The guards moved with perfect coordination. They raised their weapons at the same moment. They fired at the same moment. Their shots were precise and calculated. But the humans were faster. Moved before anyone else could react. He was across the room in 2 seconds. His blade cut through the first guard before it could fire a second shot. The second guard fell a moment later. Grabbed a door panel and ripped it off the wall. She threw it at a group of guards like a disc. It hit them hard enough to send them flying. And the other soldiers fired their weapons. The guards fell one after another. In less than a minute, the fight was over. The first, the one in the blue robes, had not moved. It stood perfectly still, watching the humans with those deep black eyes. "This is not possible," it whispered. "You are too fast, too strong," our calculations said. "Your calculations were wrong," said. She walked past the fallen guards and approached a large computer terminal. "Can you access their systems?" "Already working on it." There was a pause. "Wow, they have everything. Maps of human space, population data, genetic samples. They even have recordings of human children playing in parks. These people are creepy. Download everything you can, then destroy the rest." "With pleasure." The in blue robe stepped forward. "Please. You do not understand what you are doing. The collective is vast, powerful. You cannot fight us." "We can try," said. "You will fail. We have conquered 47 Death World species. Every single one of them fought at first. Every single one of them lost." Turned to face the alien. "What happened to them?" There was silence for a moment. Then it spoke in that soft, musical voice. "They were eliminated. It was necessary. Death World species are dangerous. They spread violence and chaos wherever they go. Left unchecked, they would destroy the peace of the galaxy. We do what must be done to protect everyone else. By killing entire civilizations." by removing threats before they become uncontrollable. It is not cruelty, it is responsibility. Surely you can understand this. Your own species kills dangerous animals to protect your communities. We do the same thing on a larger scale. Stared at the alien. She had expected many things: anger, fear, arrogance. But this calm, reasonable explanation of genocide was somehow worse than any of them. "You think we are animals," she said. "We think you are dangerous. There is a difference." "No, there is not." Raised her weapon, that did not flinch. "You will not shoot me," it said. "You want information. You want to understand your enemy. Killing me would be inefficient." "You are right," said. "I will not kill you, but I want you to remember something." She lowered her weapon and stepped very close to the alien. Up close, she could see her own reflection in those dark eyes. She looked small, fragile, weak. But she did not feel weak. "You have been watching us for 4,000 years," she said. "You have studied our wars, our diseases, our disasters. You have seen us kill each other by the millions. You have seen us destroy our own planet, and you thought you understood us." She smiled. "You do not understand anything. You see the violence and you think that is what makes us dangerous. But that is not it. What makes us dangerous is that we never stop. We never give up. You can beat us 100 times and we will get up 101 times. You can burn our cities and we will build new ones. You can kill our people and we will make more." She stepped back. "You have started a war with a death world species, and you have no idea what that means." The said nothing, but for the first time saw something new in its eyes. "Fear." "Download complete," announced. "I am starting the self-destruct sequence. You have 3 minutes to get out." The humans ran for their ship. Behind them, the station began to shake. Explosions rippled through its beautiful silver petals. As they flew away, looked back and watched the station die. It broke apart slowly, gracefully, like a flower losing its petals in a storm. The first battle was over. The war had begun. The response came faster than anyone expected. 300 warships appeared at the edge of human space. They were massive and beautiful, each one shaped like a silver teardrop with weapons that could crack planets. The commander sent a simple message to Earth: "Surrender now, accept elimination peacefully. There will be no pain, there will be no suffering. Simply stop existing." Earth's response was even simpler: "Come and try." The fleet moved toward the outer colonies. They expected to find cities full of frightened humans waiting to die. They expected quick surrender and easy victory, just like every other war they had fought. They found nothing. The colonies were empty. The cities were silent. The people were gone, evacuated weeks ago to hidden shelters deep inside asteroid fields and moons. What they found instead were traps. The first ship exploded when it scanned an abandoned city. The scanner beam triggered a massive bomb hidden underground. 3 more ships died trying to rescue survivors. The second wave of ships found their navigation systems failing, had planted viruses in the empty colony computers. When they connected to the local networks, the viruses spread to their ships. Some vessels crashed into asteroids. Others fired on each other by mistake. The commander was confused. This was not how wars were supposed to work. The prey was supposed to run and hide, not fight back. The prey was supposed to be afraid, not clever. He sent scout ships to find the human fleet. The scouts disappeared one by one. Some sent final transmissions showing human soldiers appearing out of nowhere, attacking with brutal speed, then vanishing again. They had never fought an enemy like this. Back on Earth, Admiral Lee watched the reports with grim satisfaction. The plan was working. They could not beat thee in a straight fight, so they did not try. They used tricks and traps and hit-and-run attacks. They made the bleed for every step forward. But it was not enough. They had 300 ships. Humans had maybe 50. Even with all their tricks, the math was against them. Sooner or later they would reach the core worlds, and then the real killing would begin. "We need a victory," Admiral Lee said during a meeting with his commanders. "A real victory, something that will make them afraid." "We could attack their supply lines," suggested. "Hit their fuel ships and food transports." "We have been doing that. It slows them down but does not stop them." "What about their commanders?" asked. "If we kill enough of their leaders, maybe they will retreat." They do not care about individual deaths. They are willing to sacrifice thousands of soldiers to achieve their goals. We need something bigger. Raised her hand. Everyone looked at her. "Station," she said. Admiral Lee frowned. "The Deep Space Listening Post, what about it?" "They will attack it soon. They need to destroy our long-range communications to cut us off from each other. It is a good target for them." "I know. That is why I plan to evacuate it." "What if we do not evacuate it?" Leaned forward, her young face intense. "What if we make them fight for it? What if we show them what one human can do when we really try?" The room was silent. "You want to defend the station alone," Admiral Lee said slowly. "Not alone. I will have the station's defense grid, 6,000 automated weapons, missile platforms, shield generators. If I synchronize with all of them at once, I can control the whole station like it is my own body." "That would kill you," said. "No one can handle that much data. Your brain would burn out." "Maybe," shrugged. "Maybe not. I have never tried." Admiral Lee shook his head. "I cannot ask you to do this. You are 17 years old." "You are not asking. I am volunteering." Stood up. "Admiral, you said we need a victory, something that will make them afraid. Give me station and I will give you a victory they will never forget." The Admiral looked at her for a long moment. He saw the determination in her eyes, the fire, the hunger to prove herself. He also saw a child, a girl who should be in school worrying about tests and friends and normal things, not war, not death. But this was not a normal time, and was not a normal girl. "Fine," he said quietly. "Station is yours." The attack came 3 days later. 47 ships surrounded the station, more firepower than most species saw in their entire history. The commander sent the standard message, "Surrender or die," was already connected to the station. She floated in a special chamber at the heart of the facility, her body covered in cables and sensors. Her eyes were closed, but she could see everything. Every camera, every sensor, every weapon was part of her now. She did not bother responding to the surrender message. She simply started shooting. The first wave of fighters exploded before they knew what was happening. Missiles came from every direction at once, guided by a mind that could track hundreds of targets simultaneously. The shields held for a few seconds, then collapsed under the overwhelming assault. The commander sent more ships, destroyed them too. She moved the station's weapons like a dancer moves her body, elegant and perfect and deadly. No wasted shots, no missed targets, just death after death after death. Hours passed. They threw everything they had at the station, held the line. Blood began to drip from her nose, then her ears. Pain filled her skull like fire, but she did not stop. She could not stop. She thought about her parents. They would be so angry when they found out what she had done. They had tried so hard to keep her safe, to give her a normal life. She was sorry for worrying them. But she was not sorry for this. This was what she was born to do. The 6th hour brought reinforcements. Human ships appeared from behind a nearby moon, their weapons already firing. Led the charge, her voice screaming through the communication channels. "We are here. Hold on, we are here." The fleet was caught between the station and the new arrivals. They tried to retreat but would not let them. She tracked every ship, marked every escape route, and destroyed them with cold precision. When it was over, 47 ships were nothing but floating debris. The station was damaged but intact. The human fleet had not lost a single vessel. disconnected from the system and fell unconscious immediately. Medical teams rushed to her chamber and found her barely breathing. Her brain was swollen. Her heart was struggling. The doctors said it was a miracle she was still alive. Stood by her bed in the medical bay. She looked at the small figure surrounded by machines and felt something she had not felt in years. Hoping. She did it, whispered. She actually did it. Admiral Lee nodded. He was holding a tablet showing the latest intelligence reports. The fleet had stopped advancing. For the first time in their million-year history, they were scared. The galaxy is watching, he said. Everyone knows what happened here. A 17-year-old human girl destroyed an entire assault wing by herself. What happens now? Now we push, while they are confused, while they are afraid. He looked at its pale face. She gave us a chance, we cannot waste it. Entered the room. Her armor was burned and dented from the battle, but her eyes were bright. The fleet is ready, she said. We are heading for space. Admiral Lee nodded. It is time to show them what death really looked like when we go to war. It was called the Garden of Stars. It was a beautiful planet with silver towers and crystal lakes and forests that sang with strange music. For 1,000,000 years, no enemy had ever reached it. Until now. The human fleet appeared in orbit without warning. They had traveled through hidden routes and ancient wormholes that the thought were lost. Now 50 warships surrounded the planet, their weapons pointed at the silver towers below. Admiral Lee sent a simple message: we want to talk. The High Council had no choice but to agree. Led the landing party, walked beside her, armed with enough weapons to destroy a small city. Followed silently, his eyes watching everything at once. They landed in front of the council hall, a building made of glass and light that seemed to float above the ground. Guards watched them with those dark, bottomless eyes. None of them moved to attack. They were afraid. Inside the hall, the High Council waited. There were 7 of them, ancient beings who had lived for thousands of years. Their silver skin was so pale it was almost white. Their eyes held the wisdom and cruelty of countless ages. The eldest spoke first. You should not be here. No Death World species has ever reached the garden. It is impossible. We are humans, said. We do impossible things. Why have you come? To destroy us. You cannot. Even if you bombed this planet to dust, it would survive. We have colonies throughout the galaxy. We would rebuild and return and finish what we started. We did not come to destroy you, stepped forward. The guards tensed but did not move. We came to deliver a message. What message could you possibly have for us? Smiled, it was not a kind smile. We know what you are afraid of. Silence filled the hall. The ancient leaned forward, their dark eyes fixed on her. You have been watching Death World species for 1,000,000 years, continued. You have eliminated 47 civilizations because you thought they were dangerous, but you never really understood why we are dangerous. You are violent, aggressive. You breed quickly and spread like disease. Left unchecked, you would consume the galaxy. That is part of it, but that is not what scares you. What scares you is something else. Looked around the beautiful hall with its glass walls and floating lights. You built all of this perfect world, this peaceful civilization, and you are terrified of losing it. The eldest said nothing, but something shifted in its ancient eyes. Death World species do not fear loss the way you do, said. We lose things all the time. We lose homes and families and entire civilizations. We lost most of our planet to climate change. We lost billions of people to wars and plagues, and we kept going. Because losing things is normal for us. It is how we learn, how we grow, how we become stronger. She stepped closer to the council. You cannot understand that. You have been safe for so long that you have forgotten what it feels like to really fight, to really struggle, to face extinction and refuse to accept it. That is why you harvest Death World species before they can challenge you, not because you think you will win, because you know that if we ever truly fight back, we might hurt you. We might take away your perfect world, and you cannot accept that possibility. Spoke for the first time. His voice was quiet, but it carried through the hall like thunder. You can destroy Earth. You have weapons we cannot imagine. You can kill every human in the galaxy. He stepped forward, and the guards stepped back. And then what? You spend the rest of eternity wondering if you got all of us, wondering if somewhere, somehow, one of us survived, because that is what we do. We survive, we adapt, we remember. He smiled, and it was the smile of something ancient and hungry. And we come back. The High Council looked at these impossible creatures, these predators from a world that should have killed them, these survivors of evolution's tests. For 1,000,000 years, they had believed they were the masters of the galaxy. They had believed they could control everything, shape everything, decide which species lived and which died. Now they understood the truth. They had not been hunting humanity. They had woken something up. The eldest spoke slowly. "What do you want?" "Peace," said. "Real peace. Not the kind where you watch us from hiding and plan our destruction. The kind where we leave each other alone. And if we refuse, then we keep fighting, we keep hurting you, we keep making this war so expensive that you regret ever hearing the name Earth. And maybe you win in the end. Maybe you kill all of us, but we will make you pay for it, every single day, every single loss. We will burn your perfect world to ashes before we go." The council members looked at each other. Silent communications passed between them, conversations in frequencies humans could not hear. Finally, the eldest spoke. "We agree to your terms. The will withdraw from human space. We will release all records of our observations. We will never again interfere with your species." "That is a good start," said, "but we want one more thing." "What?" "The locations of all Death World species you have been watching. All the civilizations you plan to eliminate next. We want their names and their coordinates." The council hesitated. This was their greatest secret, the list of future targets, the species they had marked for extinction. "Why do you want this?" the eldest asked. Looked at the soldiers who had followed her across the galaxy to fight an impossible war. "Because no one should face what we faced alone," she said. "Because the galaxy is big and dark and terrifying, and everyone deserves to know that someone has their back." She turned back to the council. "Because that is what humans do. We survive, and then we help others survive too." The treaty was signed 3 months later on station. By then had woken from her coma. Her first words were, "Did we win?" Held her hand and smiled. "We survived. For us, that is the same thing." On Earth, Admiral Lee stood before the United Human Council and delivered his final report. When he finished, a counselor asked the question everyone was thinking. "What do we do now?" The Admiral looked out the window at the blue planet below, the death world that made them, the cradle that forged humanity into something the galaxy had never seen. "Now we find the others, the species the marked for extinction, the death who do not know they are not alone." He turned back to the council. "We show them what we showed that the universe is not as dark as it seems, that even monsters can be beaten, that Earth has their back." Far away, on a distant planet orbiting a dying star, a young alien looked up at the night sky. Her people were afraid. Strange ships had been seen near their world, spoke of harvesters coming to take them away. She did not know that help was coming. She did not know that somewhere in the galaxy, a species of Death World survivors had decided that no one should face extinction alone. But she would learn. They all would. Because the humans were coming. And they were bringing hope.